everybody, welcome back to another episode of Just Fed where I'm playing Hollow Knight. Last episode, we did the final little things that we had to do in Godmaster. I'm playing on another file, my older file, right now. It looks like I still had about the identical freaking setup, the only difference was I had steady body equipped and when trying this. So, in this file I do have a filled in, well not 100% filled in, but a mostly filled in freaking Hunter's Journal. I don't have to farm all of the enemies anymore. So I will read everything from this list, and the list that I'm missing, the things that I'm missing on this list, I will read from my other save file. Are you ready for a long time? Because it's 163 freaking things that I have to read. Me and my perfect English, of course. Well, I don't have to, but I'm interested myself, so yeah. Right, the Crawlid. Damn it. Wow, what an amazing start. No. Timid scavenger that crawls through the caverns looking for food. Dull and pathetic, hardly worth killing. Vengefly, flying predator that pursues its prey relentlessly. This fierce little hunter will bravely chase down creatures many times its size. Admirable. It is weak though, and I have devoured hundreds of them with little effort or care. Vengefly King, patriarch of the Vengefly colony, swoops at intruders and cries out for reinforcements if threatened. A filthy creature that is happy to chew on any old thing it finds discarded on the cavern floor. When it notices a threat, it will annoyingly scream and shriek, so kill it swiftly. The Grizzer, a simple-minded creature that haphazardly buzzes around, bumping into things. They only seem dimly aware of their surroundings, making them easy prey to cut your fangs on. What is it that guides them on their path? It almost seems like they search for ways to die. The Grizzmother, mature Grizzer that carries its young in its belly, attacks by hurling its huge body around. Bizarrely, this monster does not lay eggs, but instead carries its young inside of its fat stomach. This strange practice seems to exhaust the creature, making it sleepy and vulnerable. Take advantage. Tick uses its small sharp claws to climb along walls and roofs. Looks absolutely cute. Spends its time tapping its way through the roads and caverns near the surface of this kingdom. If you're patient, you can wait for it to come to you and pick it off. Aspid Hunter. Bests its prey by spitting corrosive liquid, often hunts in packs. Cunning predators that will try to pick you off from a distance. Don't give them any space, just charge in and cut them down. You'll find they're not so cunning once they are dead. Aspid Motherer. Carries the eggs of its young inside its belly, can hatch and birth its young as needed to deal with intruders. Shamelessly use its own young as a weapon against its foes. Appalling, yes, but I do admire its resourcefulness. Good hunters do not always make good parents. Aspid Hatchling. Recently birthed, these young aspid instinctively swarm around intruders. These hatchlings are born with an instinct to kill. They are still only infants though, and you can crush them between your fangs without thinking. Just don't let them overwhelm you with numbers. A Golem. Thickly armored, it bursts from the ground to seize prey in its fangs. These brutes seem to be impervious to most damage, so you can sharpen your weapons on their thick hide, or just slash away at them for your own amusement. They barely seem to notice. Wandering Husk. The remains of a bug, animated by a strange force, wanders the road where it once lived. These civilized bugs of Hello Nest were weak in life, and now they are equally weak in death. Send them back into the dirt where they were born in. Husk Hornet, the remains of a bug animated by a strange force, uses its horn to attack any uninfected creature it finds. These bugs have an arrogant air about them, even after dying, overly proud of their long horns. I enjoy snapping them off. A Leaping Husk. The remains of a bug animated by a strange force, it will instinctively leap at uninfected creatures to attack them. The bugs of Old Hallow Nest did not hunt their own food, they had it brought to them. That is why they were so weak. That's why their kingdom crumbled into dust and faded away. A Husk Valley. It aggressively attacks any uninfected creature it finds. A thick orange mist fills these walking corpses. It has a sweet, sickly taste to it. I find it foul. After you kill these creatures, I suggest you do not eat them. Husk Quarry. The remains of a bug animated by strange force, wields a nail and shell. Softened by generations of luxury, these bugs lack claws or armor or venom. Those who wish to protect themselves are forced to fashion weapons from stone, ore, or shell. Husk Guard. The remains of a great Hallow Nest crossguard. Animated by a strange force, instinct still drives it to guard its post against intruders. Larger and stronger than their brothers, these bugs are still forced to steal their weapons from the remains of other creatures. They do not roam or hunt, forever standing guard and lashing out at anything that wanders near. The Entombed Husk. Mummified remains, deformed and enraged by infection. Inside these shambling corpses is a bright light that pierces any darkness. I peered inside that light once and saw something within it shining back. Something terrible. False Knights. A maggot driven mad by a strange force, inhabits a stolen armored shell. Weak creatures love to steal the strength of others. Their lives are brief and fearful, and they yearn to have the power to dominate those who have dominated them. The Maggot. weakest members of the Kingdom of Hellenist, generally looked down upon and forced to do menial labor. Consisting mainly of sweet fat, these helpless creatures make excellent provisions for long journeys, best roasted over open flame. If they try to bargain for their life, just ignore them, they have nothing to offer. Okay. A life seed, small cutting seed filled with live blood, which can be extracted and consumed for its healthful properties. The bright liquid inside of these little fellows is delicious. Drinking it will make you feel stronger. I wonder how my own innards taste. Would it be a heinous thing to try and drink some? Okay. The balder rolls into a ball and propels itself at intruders who wander into its territory, aggressive even when newly born. Young hunters delight in catching these creatures and rolling them around for sport. I encourage you to indulge yourself if the fancy strikes you. Elder Balder, bulky and covered in thick plating, retracts into itself when attacked. As they age, these creatures become too heavy and lumpy to roll around freely. Instead, they curl up and hide from the world. What do you think? Wait, what? What do they think of in there, wrapped up inside themselves? More carefree times, perhaps. Moss creep, weakling that covered itself in leaves to appear larger, hides amongst the undergrowth. I used to think these things were merely ambling plants. When I learned they were actually living things, I began to kill them on sight. That is the nature of the hunt. Mossfly, winged weaklings that cover itself in leaves to appear larger, hides amongst the undergrowth, fleeing if predators draw near. They spend their whole life hiding or fleeing. How sad. Or perhaps that is the life they choose for themselves and they enjoy it. It's a strange thought, but it's not impossible. Mosskin, plant-like bug that charges at... I think I don't have this thing. Maybe, actually no. Plant-like bug that charges at foes when close. They can be hard to spot amongst the foliage until you get too close and they suddenly come charging at you. Tread carefully. The volatile Mosskin, plant-like bug swollen with infection, releases deadly gas when threatened. The gas that seeps from their growths smells invitingly sweet, but it will burn through shell and flesh if you get too close. Fool Eater, carnivorous plant that snaps at any creature that comes close. You really would have to be a fool to be tricked by a plant. Squid, charge at prey with its needle-like proboscis. When they lunge at you, don't panic, stand your ground and strike back as they come close. The oval, fat, slow flying bug frequently discharges the acidic liquid stored in its round body. Does it realize what a nuisance it is, drifting around, spitting its noxious juices everywhere it goes? If you see any, make sure to kill them. The Gulka, aggressive plant life that retracts protectively when danger is near. Spits hard spiky balls when foes are at a distance. Its leaves are dry and bland. The bud is unpleasantly sour, but oh, the venom in those balls it spits, exquisite. If you have time to spare, try drinking some and enjoy the effects. Maskfly, harmless flying creature that favors serene environments, usually travels in flocks. They all keep lookout for danger, and when one flies away, the rest will do as well. I wonder how it feels to have the protection of a pack. Moss charge, timid creature that frightens away intruders by covering itself in huge clumps of moss. It's small, but it finds a lot of courage and strength once it's covered itself in its foliage. I can understand the desire to camouflage oneself. Massive moss charger, a family of creatures that have learned to bulk up with moss and live as one. There's strength in numbers, yes, but these creatures never had much strength to begin with. Cut through their trickery. Mosskin, or Moss Knight, sorry. Protector of the Green Path, trained in the ways of nail and shell. They hide as bush-like mounds and look soft, but beware these warriors. They are relentless in combat, fiercely guarding something deep, getting hidden deeper in the Green Path. Mossy Vagabond, lazy, portly Mosskin, easily swayed by others. Slow, fat, and easily vanquished. Common threads in those who forget their calling and forsake their duties. Durandu. Simple walking creature encased in a hard shell, often found wading in shallow pools of acidic water. One of the few creatures that can survive in the rivers of harsh acidic waters that flow around us. Where does this water come from? It bubbles and spits with a seething hatred of the living. The Duranda. Simple flying creature protected by spiky shell. It thinks itself fully protected, and so it's unconcerned. Hiccups. Alright, again. Thinks itself fully protected, and so is unconcerned by passers-by. Attack its face and teach it that nothing is ever safe. Wow. Aluba, passive glider that prefers to dwell near acidic water. What careless life led drifting above us all? If one ever comes too close to the ground, though, they get eaten. Charged Lumify. When threatened, they cluster together, generating electricity. They usually drift about peacefully, but sometimes they cluster together and spit out a sharp crackling flash that will stun and burn even large beasts like myself. Watch closely for an opening and move fast and quickly. Uma. Smallest jelly form. Passive and unaware, but pulsing with a dangerous electric charge. The spirit of a dead ancestor, the brain of a larger creature allowed to drift free. An egg searching for a place to spawn. I have no idea what this is. Uma. Oh crap, there goes my thing. Passive after being protecting an aggressive passive after being protecting an aggressive explosive core. Ghastly, eerie creature made out of thick liquid. You can peer right through them and can't see where they keep their thoughts. I don't trust them at all. Keep away. Umu. Intelligent being that guards the inner chamber of the teacher's archives. The canyon below us, the one thick with fog and crackling with strange energy, a hunter can lose their senses down there. Be careful. Strange and unnatural things though, yeah. And Bloom, simple-minded crawling fungus. Its cap is covered in a layer of hardened spikes. Lie on your belly, open your maw, and let its tasty morsels crawl straight into your stomach. Fudgeling, passive fungal balloon. Internal gases cause it to float. Just a child, it drifts about with closed eyes and an open mind. When I was young, my brothers and sisters and I would hunt each other in the nest. Now I hunt alone. Fungoon, fully grown fungal balloon. It spits built-up internal gases at aggressors. So round! I didn't think, I don't think I've seen a rounder creature than this. This world certainly hides some marvelous creatures. I must hunt them all down. The Spork detects nearby movement and fires out explosive spores that drift towards their target. If you're skillful, you can lead their spores back to them and watch them perish in the destruction of their own making. There's a lesson in that, I think. Fungified husk. The remains of a bug consumed by a fungus. Frequently releases clouds of a thick, deadly gas. The bugs of Hellnest are so pathetic that being infected by poisonous fungi actually increases their chance of revival. They really are absurd creatures. The Shroomling. Young fungal creature spends most of its time in the ground, but can uproot and flee if it senses danger. Looks like an ordinary mushroom until you get close, then it pops out of the ground and starts scurrying around blindly. Very, very amusing. The Shroomel Warrior. Fungal creature that attacks intruders to protect its young. Something queer in the air has caused these mushrooms to grow hearts, minds, and even faces. This means they now fear for their lives, like all other living creatures. The Shroomel Ogre, huge fungal creature, attacks by spitting corrosive venom and slamming its body into foes. Are these hulking things beasts or are they mushrooms? I cut one in half and peered inside to find out, but could find no answer in its soft, stinking insides. Of course. Mantis Youth, member of a proud tribe, fiercely protective of its territory, launches stinging attacks with its needle-sharp abdomen. As it grows, it loses the ability to fly. Passage into adulthood is often celebrated, but as time goes by, we realize that what we have lost. Mantis Warrior, member of a proud tribe, fiercely protective of its territory, launches savage attacks with bladed forelimbs. If you venture too deep into the fungal forest, these warriors will stand in your way. What is it they guard deep at the bottom of their territory? Mantis Lords, leaders of the Mantis tribe and its finest warriors. They bear thin nail lances and attack with blinding speed. The Mantis tribe and the bugs of Old Hellnest had no love for each other. The Mantises outlived their rivals though, and their civilization still stands. Husk Sentry, animated remains of a Hellnest sentry, still retains some memory of its former task. More skilled at combat than most bugs of Hellnest, they are nimble but lightly armored, keep the pressure on them. Heavy Sentry, animated remains of a large Hellnest sentry, one of few in Hellnest strong enough to wield a great nail. Surprisingly quick-witted for a corpse, it will try to catch you if you leap over it, and can chase you if you flee. Enjoyable to hunt, but beware them in packs. The Winged Sentry, flying sentry of Hellnest, trolls the heights of the vast cavern in which the city was built. Dances through the air, just out of reach, until it spots an opening, then swoops in for a decisive strike. If you're confident, wait for it to come to you, and then counterattack. Land Sentry, winged sentry of Hellnest, equipped with a nail lance. Charges at threats or throws its lance from distance. This devious foe will often keep its distance and try to pick you off with its thrown weapons. When it charges at you, leap up and strike it down. Mistake. Once a highly intelligent bug deformed by the misuse of soul. These fools meddled with the soul of other creatures and lost their shape. Now they skulk through the shadows of their sanctum like slugs, hoping their old brothers will build them new bodies. Folly. Once a highly intelligent bug, inflated by misuse of soul. I've heard whispers that the secret these fools were searching for was immortality, to live forever. I've never heard of anything so obscene. The Soul Twister. Highly intelligent bug that uses arcane knowledge to twist soul into vicious spells. I have heard others talk about soul, but I do not understand what it actually is. I do know that freshly skilled that freshly killed meat tastes best. Is that because the soul still clings into it? Huh. Soul Warrior, Lone Bug, wielding a refined pin blade, enhances its combat prowess with harvested soul. Where these strange warriors go, whispers follow them. Not only are they skilled with a nail, but they can also use some strange power to shift suddenly from place to place. Stay on your guard. The Soul Master, head of the Soul Sanctum, hoarded soul, hoping to stave off Hellenist's affliction, but eventually became intoxicated by its power. The bugs of Hellenist tried all kinds of tricks and rituals and prayers to rid themselves of the infection, but to no avail. Perhaps the infection came from somewhere deep inside of them that they could not escape. Husk Dandy, former member of Hellenist High Society, limited offensive ability. It seems the weakest, greediest members of Hellenist were also the ones who exerted the most influence, truly a kingdom that was always destined for ruin. Cowardly Husk, former member of Hellenist High Society, although made aggressive by the force inside, old instincts still occasionally compel it to run from danger. The fearful, cowardly nature of these Hellenist bugs persists even after death. It almost feels shameful to chase and cut them down. Gluttonous Husk, former member of Hellenist High Society, used its corpulent body as a weapon. As his bugs became wealthier, they hunted less and consumed more, eventually taking on a grotesque shape not unlike overripe fruits. The Gorgeous Husk, corpulent husk, encrusted with a shining metal, retains the instincts towards yield. There's a beauty in many things, reflections of light in the water, the taste of freshly killed meat, the cry of a hatchling for its mother. I've never understood the lust for metals and stones, though. Great Husk Sentry, animate remains of a great sentry that the most elite of the city's guards, wields a great nail and a shell. Its powerful attacks cause heavy damage. An extremely rare thing, a bug of Hellenist actually poses a threat. Watch them carefully as they lash out, quickly with devastating strikes. The Watcher Knights. The scarlet shell of a Watcher Knight are reanimated by a swarm of infected flies. When these silent warriors fall in battle, their bodies split open and strange bugs come flying out. I wonder, what will come flying out of me when I die? Will my hopes and fears drift away into the darkness? The Collector, dark figure locked inside the Tower of Love, preserves Hellenist creatures in glass jars with particular attention given to grubs. A shadow that sometimes flits through the caverns, making strange noises to itself. I've never seen a critter, so I have no idea what type of creature it is. Bellfly. Thin wings hide a highly volatile belly. Will give its own life to protect its territory. An angry creature with no regard for its own life, a creature without fear. Can it really be called for him? Pillflip. Odd creature that adapts to changing situations by flipping over and using the limbs on the other side of his body. Adaptability is an important survival skill. If a problem seems insurmountable, try approaching it from a different angle. A rump. Or humph. Tiny and placid, but swells to enormous size when threatened. Extremely amusing creature. Bloodsack. Placid but putrid creature. Holds rancid eggs within its gut. Easily tracked down if you have a sense of smell. I strongly suggest you do not eat its eggs. The Dung Defender. Skilled combatant living at the heart of the waterways. Assails intruders with balls and compacted dung. Fighting for honor or for loyalty, you may as well be fighting for dust. If you want to kill, do it for your own sake. That is the nature of a true hunter. The White Defender. Figure from a fondly remembered past. Reacts gallantly to defeat by becoming stronger. The Champion's Call. The Knotted Grove. The Battle of Blackburn. I remember it all. I will carry those glories with me. Always. Until we meet again. Ogrim of the Five Knights. So now we have learned that the Dung Defender, or the White Defender, is Ogrim. And if you dreamnail, what's the name called again? Isma's Grove. If you dreamnail Isma herself, she actually talks about Ogrim. So yeah, there's a reason why the Dung Defender was protecting that place. Alright, the Fluke Fae, youngest of its species. Its body is composed of teeth, wings, and stomach. Seems to want to latch onto any living thing that comes by with its sharp little teeth. Teeth. It will leave its cousins alone though, so it isn't completely mindless. Flukmon. Worm-like creature that prefers damp, dark habitats. Dangerous, unpredictable foes that infest the pipes below Hellenist's capital. Even when it seems you've killed them, you need to stay on your guard. Flukemonga. Aged fluke grown fat of the rich refuse found in the pipes below the capital. When predators are too successful, the surplus food they eat becomes soft bulk wrapped around their bodies. Still, these creatures at least seem to make good use of their additional weight. The Flukmorm. An insatiable breeder has populated the waterways with its kind. Its insides double as a nest for young fluke. The desire to breed, to leave behind a memory of ourselves in the shape of a child. It seems to be etched deep into the heart of every living creature. I, too, have felt a pull of that base instinct. The Sharkmite feeds on crystal dust and uses crystallized spines to protect itself from danger. I don't find this creature particularly notable or interesting. It should learn to fly or breathe flames or sing hauntingly, anything to justify its existence. The Glimback, slow, hardy creature. The crystals that grow on its back provide extra protection from foes above. Large and well protected, but slow and docile. The bugs of Hellenest used to force these creatures to carry around their carts and machines. Crystal Hunters, fires shards of fast-growing crystals and intruders. Make their homes all the way up at the top of the world. Do they use the crystals wingly as weapons, or are they merely hosts and the crystal parasites? Huh. The Crystal Crawler discharges searing beams of light from the crystals on its back and it crawls around, seemingly unaware. These creatures look weak, but sometimes burning pillars of heat will burst out from the crystal they carry on their back. Be wary, and time your strikes well. Yeah, my strikes, because my strikes would actually not be able to hit this guy. You need to use soul. The Husk Miner, remains of a buck drawn to the crystal peak for its precious crystal. Its claw pick now doubles as a fierce weapon. The bugs of Hellenest lusted after the strangest things in life. They would dig furtively through the dirt for stone, or in particular the crystal that grew at the top of the world. Crystallized Husk, remains of a buck who died among the crystals. Animated by strange force, it attacks by firing beams of light from its crystallized arms. There's some strange power hidden in the crystals that grow up there in the peak. They gleam and glow in the darkness, a bright point of searing heat in each one. They sing too, if you listen, very softly. The Crystal Guardian, heavy-set miner of the crystal peak, overcome by crystal growth, can discharge blazing beams of light from its crystallized limbs. How does the word look to this creature, gazing out from within its crystal prison? Does it see only light? Is that what drives it into frenzy? Furious Vengefly. Vengefly, whose body has been distorted by continuous infection, highly aggressive. The infection that passes from creature to creature grants strength and courage, but it also seems to enslave the will. Would you make such a bargain? Volatile Gruzzer. Gruzzer swollen with infection and primed to burst. Horrible goo and noxious gas has started leaking down from above. Is there a source of all this pestilence? If so, I haven't seen it. The Violent Husk. Maddened by massive infection, charges at enemies with no thought for its own preservation. The bugs of Hellenest were twisted out of shape by that ancient sickness. First they fell into deep slumber, then they awoke with broken minds, and then their bodies started to deform. Slobbering Husk. Body of a bug, completely consumed by infection, spits corrosive liquid. The infection that swept through Hellenest so long ago. They say that the harder you struggle against it, the more it consumes you. Dirt Carver. Swarming predator of the deep nest burrows Swarming predators of the deep nest burrows through the ground and burst out to surprise prey. Springy and vicious, these hunters will try to overwhelm you with numbers in dark, tight, twisting caverns they carve through the ground. Always be on your guard. The Carver Hatcher, flying creature that fires out dirt carvers from its body when potential prey come close. Are these creatures the mothers of dirt carvers? They appear only loosely related, but then how do the dirt carvers get inside of the hatchers? A confusing situation. The Garpede, giant burbird covered in thick shelled plates, tirelessly travels the tunnels of deepness. Monstrously strong, they shrug off any attack you make on their thickly armored body. Luckily, if you simply avoid their path, they leave you alone. Corpse Creeper, parasitic beast that controls the body of its host after the host's death. The beasts of this land have found plenty of ingenious hiding places, but none so clever as the body of another creature. If they happen on such a beast, rejoice! You've hunted two creatures at once. The Deepling, infant of the Deepnest, scuttles about in the darkness, learning the layouts of its home. The Deepnest is a dangerous place to hunt, but very rewarding. Keep an eye out for the weaker creatures you can pick up and eat to keep your strength up in the darkness. Deep Hunter crawls among the walls and the roofs, spitting burning venom at anything that passes by. They can be hard to spot as they flitter in and out of the darkness. Watch for their glowing eyes. Little Weaver, a nimble spider that traverses its domain on thin strands of web, often awaits in ambush. They can appear from the darkness at any moment. They seem to fly through the air, dancing on invisible strings as they silently stalk prey. Stalking Devout, worshipper of Herod the Beast, shield themselves with hard-bladed foreclaws, then latch out suddenly to cut down prey. Powerful, well-armored, and fast, these are no mere beasts. Study their movements and watch carefully for an opening. Nosk, mimic the shape of other creatures to lure prey to its lair. In the Deepnest darkness, there are beasts who wear faces stolen from your memories and pluck at the strings in your heart. Know yourself and stay strong. Shadow Creeper, found only in deep, dark places, has never been observed to eat or drink anything. This little creeper is weak and poses no threat, but something about it still unsettles me. The way it moves and the noise it makes are strange somehow. A lesser Moloch attacks by spitting acid and slashing with forepaws. If you try to keep your distance, it will spit sticky, burning globs of vile stomach juice, moving quickly and strike decisively. A Moloch. Large, immobile creature wildly spits venom when intruders pass by. How did this foolish creature lose its leg? Its legs, I suppose it's possible to lose anything if you really try. The Brooding Moloch. Ferocious but extremely social creature, becomes aggressive if not able to mingle with its own kind. I hear this beast crying out sometimes as I prowl the caverns, although I've never actually laid eyes on it. Who or what it is calling for, as far as I can tell, its voice is never answered. Lightseed, a single-celled organism completely infected, scurries about simple-mindedly. Strange air has been seeping down from above for years. Some of the air became liquid, and some of that liquid became flesh, and some of the flesh came to life. I don't know what to make of it. Infect balloon, single cell of infection, has a simple mind and can float using internal gases. The infection creeping through the kingdom's dead veins. Does it have a mind? Does it produce soul? Is it truly alive? The broken vessel. Shattered corpse reanimated by infected parasites. The shape of this creature, I've seen something like it before, more than once perhaps. It looks a little like the bugs at Hellenest, but not quite the same. Where did these empty little wanderers come from? A boofly, a large docile creature that peacefully buzzes around in the caverns of Kingdom's Edge. Too slow to escape you and too large to hide from you. This prey will not challenge you, but sometimes it is good to take things easy. Primal Aspid. Wilder, ancestral form of the Aspid, once thought extinct, they have reappeared on the edges of the world. These cruel foes would ambush you and relentlessly attack with their searing venom. How strange that their descendants are so weak. If I have children, I hope they will be stronger than me. Hopper leaps at prey and uses its sharp proboscis to drain vital fluids. This hopping thief's belly is full of the blood it has stolen from other beasts. If you hold it above a fire, the belly will grow and grow until it explodes in a steaming shower of fluids. The Great Hopper leaps around the edge of the world trying to crush prey beneath its body. A worthy foe, surprisingly nimble for its size, either keep your distance or try to dance between its hops and strike at its legs. The Grub Mimic assumes the shape of a harmless creature to lure prey, luring an enemy close by pretending to be a weak little grub. Very cunning. Unfortunately for them, I eat these grubs as soon as I see them. Hiveling, smallest of the hive's inhabitants, carries out simple tasks. Weak but hard-working and numerous, their hairy little bodies are filled with a thick, sweet golden liquid. Good to keep a view on you for long hunts. The hive soldier defends the hive against intruders with its extendable stinger. Savage and dedicated warriors. Be prepared to fight them to the death if you plan on invading their home. The hive guardian protects the hive by hurling its huge body at intruders. Like their smallest kin, their only instinct is to protect the hive at any cost to themselves. Somewhat clumsy, they'll often damage the structure of the hive when charging at intruders. Does this cause them shame? I do not know whether they have the capacity for such a thing. Husk hive. Cowardly husk, its body colonized by hivelings. Did the hivelings build their nest around the sorry bug, or did the bug squeeze its body into their nest? Either way, they seem happy enough together. The Hive Knight, loyal protector of the hive's queen, flightless but ferocious in battle. Some creatures are born with duties and loyalties, marked indelibly upon their minds. They are strong, but they are also slaves. The Spiny Husk, overgrown vegetation, it attacked by firing sharp spines from its body. The spines they fire seem to be mildly poisonous. Don't use them to clean between your fangs after eating. Loodle, inhabits the wilds beside the Queen's Gardens. Not aggressive in nature, but its wild bouncing behavior can be dangerous. It seems like their energy is limitless. Do they ever stop, sleep, or eat, or love? Mantis Petra lurks among foliage and attacks by flinging wind scythes from a distance. They will harass you from afar, so get close and strike quickly. Their bodies are brittle and will fall easily to your nail. Mantis Trader, once a member of the Mantis tribe, now cast out and driven mad by infection. Belonging to a tribe or not belonging, I don't really understand what the difference is or how it works. I have no tribe of my own. The Traitor Lord, disposed lord of the Mantis tribe, embraced the infection and turned against his sisters. I have felt that desire to take the infection to myself, to become stronger, more powerful. These thoughts haunt my dreams during the darkest times. A false hope, but it can burn so brilliantly in one's mind. The Sharp Boulder, hardened boulder bred for battle in the Coliseum of Fools, tougher and more aggressive than its wild ancestors. These creatures, I have never seen one fully grown. I suppose they aren't allowed to live long enough to become adults. Armored Squids. Hardened squid, bred for battle, it's gonna be the same, mostly. Strong and quick, when they rear back, either move out of the way or prepare to strike back. Its movements and attacks are still haphazard. Huh. Although trained for combat, its movements, yeah, okay. They have carved a tiny mask for them, for it. Is such an extravagant practical... Wait, blah, blah. My god! Half an hour of reading later, they have crafted a tiny mask for it. Is such an extravagant practical, I wonder? Is such an extravagance practical? Oh yeah, if it's practical, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Oblobble, a larger cousin of the owl, pairs with a mate for life and will never leave its side. Having a mate by your side. One that will never leave you until death. Strange, no mate has ever come forth to stay by my side. Shielded Fool, warrior fighting for glory in the Colosseum of Fools, rarely approaches opponents with shell held high. That Colosseum is a strange place where some bugs fight each other to the death and others watch. I don't understand obscure rituals. I don't understand such obscure rituals. If you venture in, stay on your guard at all times. Sturdy Fool, warrior fighting mate for life and will never leave its side. Having a mate by your side. One that will never leave you until death. Strange, no mate has ever come forth to stay by my side. Shielded Fool, warrior fighting for glory in the Colosseum of Fools, rarely approaches opponents with shell held high. That Colosseum is a strange place where some bugs fight each other to the death and others watch. I don't choose to fight. Aggressively charges down foes. The heavy fool. Large, bulky, and fighting for its life. Don't underestimate this fighter. It can slither around quickly despite its bulk. It also has a surprisingly beautiful face beneath its mask. Okay then. A Death Noodle. Noodle equipped with a helmet and thought to kill. They seem fierce, but they have a lot of difficulty aiming at their target. Watching their motions and strike when the opportunity comes. Take their helmet off with you as a trophy. The Volt Twister, a learned bug that adapted the teachings of the Soul Sanctum into a deadly fighting art. Attacks with bursts of electricity. Supposedly lives on a diet of lumaflies and spends its entire life fighting in the arena or meditating in seclusion, an odd foe. The God Tamer, veteran warrior of the Colosseum of Fools, fights by the side of the creature she has trained. Some hunters train beasts to join them in chasing down prey. I tried it once, but couldn't resist the urge to test my companion's strength against mine, and then you killed it. The Pale Lurker, forgotten forgotten champion of the Colosseum, drawn away by a strange obsession. This odd creature is unaffected by and unaware of the disease drifting through the caverns. Its madness is all its own. Zotes, a self-proclaimed knight of no renown, wields a nail he carved from shellwood, named Life Enter. Some rare creatures are so weak, so helpless, so inept, and so irritating that hunting them gives no pleasure. Now we have Grey Prince Zote. Figment of an obsessed mind, lacks grace but becomes stronger with every defeat. My love, any creature who could bear to be away from you would willingly leave you behind or say unkind things to you. Ha, lowly maggots, not worthy of standing in your glorious shadow. She felt her cold body grow warm, a sensation she had almost forgotten. The Grey Prince, chapter 112. Winged Zoteling, figment of an obsessed mind, grudgingly assists its master in combat by lazily flying towards foes. She asks whether he had bought the charm for her as he promised he would. But then he explained the charm was actually of low quality and not worth the price asked. She understood the wisdom of his decision perfectly. The Grey Prince. Chapter, 136. The Hopping Zoteling. Figment of an obsessed mind, jumps about in a non-threatening manner. That lovely mapmaker's wife? Ha! My queen, how could you compare yourself to her? In her face of your intoxicating beauty, all other females are merely dust. The Grey Prince trembled with anger and indignation and love. Grey Prince, chapter 178. Volatile Zoteling, figment of an obsessed mind, deals poorly with the pressure of existing and quickly explodes. Okay, the Grey Prince was a wanderer by nature, but she could not bear to be separated from him, so she devised a plan to make sure that she and her prince would be together always. She only had to wait for her chance. The Grey Prince, chapter 205. Alright, Zero. Lingering dream of a fallen warrior, executed for crimes against the king. A life defiled by tragedy and triumph, a death marred by sorrow and regret. A spirit burdened by sins and memories, better to wander the world than be cursed with glory. 0. Gorp, lingering dream of a fallen warrior, a mysterious life form that claimed to contain all of the world's knowledge inside of its distended brain. I am Gorp, from Gorp. Elder Who, lingering dream of a fallen warrior, traveled the world tending to those affected by the plague. Never forget what once was lost, yet do not let it tie you down. Elder Who. Marmu, lingering dream of a fallen warrior, protector of the Queen's Gardens. If you believe in something as hard as you can, with your eyes shut tight, eventually it will come true. Marmu. No eyes, lingering dream of a fallen warrior disappeared during the plague. They're coming. What's inside of you? Strip it out. No eyes. Galleon, lingering dream of a fallen warrior trained in the wilds, bordering the kingdom, hoping to become a knight. A knight strives not only to protect the land and its people, but the hopes and dreams of the kingdom. Galleon. Markov, lingering dream of a fallen warrior, only member of his forgotten tribe to take up a weapon. I think I just know what tribe he is from. He's probably from the same tribe as Seer is from. May your efforts lead you somewhere worthy, Markov. That would make a lot of sense. Grimkin Novice, young and playful member of the Grim Troop. As part of the ritual, it gathers scarlet flame within its torch. It will relinquish its flame once defeated. Shadows dream of endless fire, flames devour and embers swoop. One will light the nightmare lantern, call and serve in Grim's dead troop. The Grim Troop. Grimkin Master, powerful and devoted member of the Grim Troop. As part of the ritual, it gathers scarlet flame with its torch. It will relinquish the flame once defeated. A spark of red lights, darkest dreams. Wait, what? A spark of red lights, dark. My god, this is difficult. A spark of red lights, darkest dream. Scarlet nightmares, bright and wild. Visions dance and flames do speak. Burn the father, feed the child. Grim Troop. Grimkin Nightmare, terrifying member of the Grim Troop. As part of the ritual, it gathers scarlet flame with its torch. It will relinquish the flame once defeated. Dance and die and live forever. Silent voices shout and sing. Stand before the troop's dark heart. Burn away the Nightmare King. The Grim Troop. Grim, master of the Grim Troop. Through a dream I travel at lantern's call to consume the flames of a kingdom's fall. Grim. Nightmare King. Twisted spectre of a scarlet flame. The expansive dream in past was split. One realm now must stay apart. Darkest reaches beating red. Terror of sleep. The nightmare shards. From the Seer. Huh. This actually comes from the Seer. Wow, that's insane. Nail Masters Oro and Mato. Brothers of the Nail. Trained in combat by the great Nail Sage. Gods by toil and nail abound. Brothers sworn to guard the weak. Masters of the sacred ground. Help us find the god we seek. Prayers to the masters. Paint Master Shio, a skilled and respected master of the nail, always eager to learn new things. O God-inspired master of arts, whose works shall eternal endure. Peer beyond our minds and hearts, reveal to us the God most pure. Prayer of the artist. Great nail sayer Sly, legendary sage of the nail arts, and recently merchant of some success. Sagely god of the cunning and bold, sharpen our nails and show us the odds. O greatest of masters we wish to behold. That one still greater, the god of gods. Prayer to the sage. Wing mold, a fly-like construct formed of white shell and a dark liquid interior. The Bucks of Hellenist believed that their king created this world and everything in it. For what purpose, I wonder? Were his subjects companions, or toys, or children? Such a mind seems unknowable. Royal Retainer, the most loyal and devout servants of the king. Simple, weak creatures find strength by forming a hive and obeying a ruler. Such creatures become the arms and teeth and claws of their monarch. King's Mold, guard construct of the Hellenist's palace, and skilled wielder of the curved claw blade. Its heavy white armor protects a fragile body. They say the old king died long ago, but his influence echoes around us still. A creature like that, what did he desire? A sibling. Fragment of a lingering will. Far down below us, beneath the kingdom, the air grows stiller and a sense of emptiness pervades. Can I flourish down there? If so, I will hunt it. Void tendrils. Fragments of void taking the shape of sharp, thrashing tendrils. The bugs of Hellenist sometimes wondered whether there were other, older, stranger kingdoms deep below them. What strange fancies they had. That's probably why they were always so distracted and easy to kill. Hornet, skill protector of Hellenist ruins, wields a needle and thread. I've seen this nimble little creature. I thought her prey and pounced at her, but with a flash she stabbed me with her flying stinger and darted away. Could she be a hunter? The Hollow Knight. You can only get this by defeating the Hollow Knight. Like, not going to the Radiance and defeating him, you have to defeat the Hollow Knight. Fully grown vessel, carrying the plague's heart within its body. The old king of Hellenist. He must have been desperate to save his crumbling little world. The sacrifices he imposed on others, all for nothing. The pure vessel, chosen vessel, raised and trained to prime form. Deepest silence in holy shell, give a nail and name the night. Bound by chain and egg and spell. Hear our plea, reveal thy light. Prayer to the vessel. Radiance, the light, forgotten. The plague, the infection, the madness that haunts the corpses of Hellenists, the light that scream out from the eyes of the dead kingdom. What is the source? I suppose mere mortals like myself will never understand. The shade, echo of a previous light, defeated to retake its power and become whole. Each of us leaves an imprint of something when we die, a stain on the world. I don't know how much longer this kingdom can bear the weight of so many past lives. The seal of binding, intricate seal of ancient design, used to contain a powerful force or to preserve something of great importance. Okay, so I have now read everything. The only thing that I'm still missing is one thing that I'm not going to be able to get, and the other thing that I got in my other file. So, give me a second while I do this. Alright, let's go and take a look. Let's see. Can you stop freaking out, please? Thank you. I've gotten all of those. Yep. I've already gotten all of the ones for the main game, I'm pretty sure. The Grim Troop, also. Yep. Lifeblood, also. It's the God Mask, yep. It's the Void Idol and the Weathered Mask. So, to get the Void Idol, you have to beat every single boss in that room with all of the statues. Okay, rare artifact from a time before Hallow Nests. Its spines its spires twined in a unified form. Contains a large amount of liquid from the abyss, perfectly still. Inspired or mad, those ancient bugs, they devoted their worship to no lord or power or strength, but to the very darkness itself. Them. Okay, and now the final thing that we're still missing, which is the insane thing to get, by the way, is the Weathered Mask. You can get this in a land of storms. It's such a weird place. Alright, strange mask from a goddess land passed down over time. The design suggested the wearer's thoughts were focused through the crest. Gods of thunder, gods of rain, why forsake thy servants? Will our minds be left suffering to ache alone? What god remains to deliver us from this woeful silence? Lament of the Godseeker. How to acquire. The Weathered Mask is found within the Land of Storms, a secret area of Godhome. To access this area, all pantheons need to be completed with all bindings. The bindings can either be done one at a time or all at once. So yeah, this is pretty freaking insane, the Land of Storms. Let's see, can I find something special? I'd rather just see how this looks, really. Can you stop flipping around? Okay, so this is all that stuff, yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty crazy place. Wait, atmosphere. Is this what I want? Ah, there you go. I can take a look at this. This is from this person. So yeah, you find a crack at the left side or something of I don't know where, and then you find this area. Yeah, it's basically saying you can just go to the right and then see these really weird statues and all that jazz, and that's it. Okay, there we go. Let's go back to Hollow Knight. Alright, so I absolutely hope that you enjoyed this insanity of a Let's Play. And yeah, I will see you guys in one of my other Let's Plays, probably. I would say the next Let's Play, but I'm already doing two other Let's Plays at the same time, so yeah. I hope you enjoyed nonetheless, and I will see you guys later. Goodbye!